Hi, I'm Eric. I'm one of the co-founders of Doomlings, and today I'm so excited to do a deep dive into the Shadow Puppets Bolster Expansion. It's our newest expansion for Doomlings. Let's take a look inside. In the box, you'll find 40 brand new cards to add to your classic game of Doomlings. These 40 cards are divided into groups that we call clades. These clades are Deeplings, Moonlings, Glitterlings, and Fuselings, which combine all three. Deeplings introduce the suppress mechanic into the game. When you suppress a trait, you turn it face down and tuck it underneath another trait in your trait pile. What's great about this is it hides these cards from being targeted by your opponents for swaps and steals. Now, if an opponent removes the top card, these suppressed cards will go to the bottom of the trait deck. But if you manage to keep them until the end of the game, they're worth 1 bonus point each. Let me show you how powerful the suppress mechanic can be. In this example, I'm going to play Immutable into my trait pile as my first dominant. There are two really powerful effects on this card. The first protects all of my traits from being swapped or stolen so long as I have 6 or fewer non-dominant traits in my pile. The second effect gives me the ability to suppress a trait in my trait pile at the start of every turn. I think you can probably see where this is going. Okay, so on my next turn, I'm going to play my second dominant, Self-Doubt, which allows me to double the face value of any trait at the end of the game if it's the only trait of that color in my pile. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, on my next turn, I can see that I've got 6 non-dominant traits in my pile. So, I'm going to want to use Immutable's effect, otherwise my non-dominant traits will be vulnerable to swaps and steals. So I'm going to suppress this 1-point green trait here underneath this trait. No big loss because I'm essentially getting 1 point for it either way. Plus, it's going to benefit the next card I'm going to play in a major way because I'm about to play Quiet, which is worth 5 points. Since it's the only green trait in my pile, it's actually going to be worth 10 points at the end of the game because of Self-Doubt's effect. This is just one example of a big brain play that you can do with the new cards in Shadow Puppets. Okay, let's talk about the new Moonlings. This set is full of traits that encourage you to play with a low gene pool. With Tumpleyo, for instance, I can get up to 8 bonus points if I manage to get to the end of the game with a gene pool of only 1. Now, that's really tough to accomplish, and if you're gonna go for a gene pool that low, you're probably gonna wanna try to do it later in the game. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a lot of cards to play with. Traits like Womp are fun, because Shadow Puppets is all about manipulating your opponents. And while this one forces you to give an opponent 2 points at the start of their turn, you're also essentially playing their turn for them. So, if you know they've got a powerful card that they're just itching to play and you don't want them to play it, might be a good time to Womp them. Next up, we've got Glitterlings, which are all about chance. Cracked, for instance, is a great card to play when you've got an opponent with a trait that you want removed from their pile. Whether you swap it, steal it, force them to put it back in their hand, or whether nothing happens at all, depends entirely on what card is drawn from the top of the deck. Same goes with Soft. I might be increasing my gene pool, or decreasing it in order to get to play another trait. Worst case, I'm getting 2 points, but it's all up to chance with Glitterlings. Finally, there's Fuselings, which combine the art and mechanics of all 3 clades. Shrouded is a great example of this. You've got the suppression mechanic of Deeplings, but check this out. At the start of my turns, I can draw all suppressed cards underneath Shrouded. So, if it's early in the game, you might want to suppress a high point value card and come back to it later. So that's just a taste of all of the amazing cards inside of the new Shadow Puppets Bolster Expansion. We'll have another video coming out that will talk about the synergies between Shadow Puppets and the Imaginary Ends Variety Expansion. But in the meantime, Shadow Puppets is available right now at Doomlings.com. Thanks for watching.